Yeah, so just prepare to...
It'll be great.
It'll be perfect.
Y'all motherfuckers don't watch us play throughout the year, to tell you the truth. I'm gonna be real with you, and I don't care if I get fined.
I got my sweet jerk off, put some strings on.
That train is off the tracks.
Who doesn't love the bouncy castle?
Hitler.
Just prepare to... just prepare to be awash in undebeatable goodness.
Welcome, Pacers fans. You were listening to the Undebeatables, your semi-weekly Pacers podcast. Today is March 24th, 2024. This is episode 691. Coming to you from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm your host, Joey Gaffrida, the man behind the dials. This show, we're going to discuss a 2-in-1 week of Pacers basketball with games against Cleveland, Detroit, and Golden State. Joining me this show are all three of our analysts, coast to coast, like buttered toast. First, from the high school home of Jamison Brewer, Silver Spring, Maryland, it's the doctor, Jason Triplett.
What is up, Pacers fans? What is up, Undebeatables? Shout out to Myles Turner, who's now the all-time leader in blocks as an Indiana Pacer. Do you guys want to play a quick game? Can you name the top 5 Pacers blockers?
Jermaine O'Neal.
Correct.
That's all I got.
Myles Turner, Jermaine O'Neal, check.
Dale Davis.
Dale Davis is 6th.
Okay. Rick
What about
Smits.
Rick Smits, yep.
Hibby.
Hibbert is 5th. 4th one's old school. Think 80s.
Clark Kellogg.
No, didn't play long enough.
Tree Rollins.
No, I don't think he ever played for the Pacers.
Mel Daniel somehow.
Let's see.
Darnell
Common
Hillman.
last name, big rebounder guy.
Smith.
Close, but not right. Herb Williams.
Oh, Herb.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant when I
Colson.
said Tree Rollins.
Supposed to get
That's
that
that's the same thing. Tree Rollins, Herb
Herb
Williams.
Williams.
It
Same guy.
sounds the same.
Nailed it.
Both shrubbery related.
It's Shrubbery. I like it when we get a Shrubbery shout out early on.
Me.
From Asheville, North Carolina, he's our in-house bartender, mixing up the drinks in the crappy jingles. It's John Beast a la mode Colson.
What is up, Pacer Nation? What is up, Undebeatables? Shout out to the Madness. I am very excited. We are packed every night at my sports bar. Happens to be 3 North Carolina teams in the men's bracket. We get a lot of people in for the women's bracket this year as well. Everybody showing up for Iowa. It's just standing room only in my bar. Shout out the Madness.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out. And from Tacoma, Washington, out west, it's our enforcer, John Harper.
What is going on, fellas? What is going on, Big Sugar? Shout out. One of my personal favorites.
That was pretty good.
Shout out.
Shout out to my family this week. Had a loss in my sister and brother-in-law's family, so hope you guys are doing great. Love you.
Well, before we get into the show and talk about some basketball, we'd like to remind listeners that they can support us. We have the longest running Pacers podcast. You can support us by heading over to patreon.com/undebeatables, and you can support us for as little as $1 per month. All right, guys, there was a good week of Pacers basketball. They go 2-1. First game, I was in the house for this one. Pacers took on Cleveland at home Monday, March 18th, and at the Fieldhouse. And yeah, this game was back and forth, and we had some good leads. But there were, I think, too many ex-Pacers on this team that had chips on their shoulders.
Why does Karis LeVert hate us so much?
And George Niang too was unhappy with us.
Yeah.
Tristan Thompson.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no
And Tristan
kidding.
Thompson, sure.
Tristan got minutes.
Yeah, like he didn't even have time to get mad, and he did.
Yeah. He didn't have time to get 4-0 boards, though, I'm sure.
Yeah, and this is with the Cavs without Donovan Mitchell, without Evan Mobley, without Max Strus,
Without the other Mobley.
and I guess yes, and Isaiah Mobley as well, and Dean Wade. They had a lot of injuries, but they brought 9 guys in here, and they win on the road. Jared Allen and Karis LeVert both had 23 points. On the Pacers side, I thought Pascal Siakam had a nice game. 19 and 12. Myles Turner 12 points, and Halliburton was still in a bit of a funk in this part of the season. This game, he's still 14 and 12, but
Yeah, it's a bad night for Tyrese.
I mean, it is
Shooting very poorly from the range at this point.
Yeah, and passed up some pretty good looks, particularly late. We'll talk about those, but Pacers come up short against the Cavs, who were having a nice year, but wanted to get that win. Game 2 of the week, Wednesday, March 20th. Pacers start the road trip, 5-game road trip, and go to Detroit and whip the Pistons, 122-103. This game was over early and didn't get much better on the Detroit side. Again, Siakam and Halliburton leading scorers. I guess from the Pistons side, Cade Cunningham was pretty good, but that was kind of it. They were struggling. And last game of the week, Colson says this is a potential for game of the year, or one of the games of the year. Friday, March 22nd, on the road in Golden State. Pacers win 123-111. Tell you what, they came out swinging, scoring 38 points in the first quarter, 36 in the third. They've done a pretty good job, I think, in third quarters recently, and that's really where they extended their lead that was not able to be caught. Was in the third quarter of this game. But a nice win and on the road against, this is not the same Golden State of old, but it's a lot of the same players, and they're always dangerous, so guess what? It was Siakam and Halliburton leading scorers. Last thing I wanted to say about this, this week, I thought about this team. I think Siakam, for me, I thought that he is answering a question that I had about this team for this whole season, which is, what is Plan B when they're insane offense, when they get pushed into the half court or to do things, or when the shots aren't falling, they had no Plan B, and Pascal Siakam just kind of does whatever he wants. He can play in the post, he can do, he's rebounding, he's doing the things that we weren't good at. Now I think that we can even see, Halliburton's shot hasn't been falling, and other people too, but he's getting 20 to 25 a night. He's getting rebounds, and I think that we're maybe
assists.
I mean, he's kind of doing everything. I feel like we're maybe able to get some wins that we maybe wouldn't have been able to with Hield, who was great, but much more of a one-dimensional player. So, Colson, you were very excited about the Golden State game. What was your takeaway from that game and this week?
Oh, well, I agree with you about the Siakam stuff. He's answered a call, and he's appreciate what you said, which is he's doing the things that we needed to do. There's no Plan B, when the offense breaks down, he finds a way to get to the basket, or he finds the way to get offensive rebound, or he finds a way to get a deflection. I'm just so pleased with what he brings to the table. I think the reason that the Golden State game went on maybe a Game of the Year nominee was from the middle of the third quarter, I'd say with about 7.5 minutes left, to the end of that third quarter, the Indiana Pacers played nearly perfect basketball. It was gorgeous to watch. We were just everywhere on defense, deflecting everything, stealing everything. We were hitting every shot we wanted. We just took over that game, and it looked like a team that wasn't just a good team, but a great team. And it was beautiful to behold, and it wasn't the whole game, but for that 7.5 minutes, I thought, this is what we can be. And in that stretch, Halliburton hit a couple big threes, and the game opens up when he can shoot long threes. He also had a couple threes, or a couple steals, and even blocked a shot. I think he had 3 blocked shots in this game. You've got a game where Myles Turner blocks 5 shots. You got a game where Siakam's kind of doing what he wants to do. And I thought the rhythm of the game was we're playing defense and then we're getting out on offense. And it was everything that we had hoped this team could be. This is a team that can score, 122 points, but also is giving an effort on the defensive end. And it was just so beautiful to watch. I thought this team could actually be something, not just a, lamb to the slaughter in the first round, but like could actually do some damage if we can figure out how to focus this energy and play this well. I was just really impressed. And I think, the whole game wasn't that, but for that focused 7 minutes, I was very excited.
Yeah, we hold the Warriors to 44 points in the second half on like 30% shooting or something. It's a really good effort. And to piggyback on the Siakam thing, like he's just such an opportunistic player. Like he goes out there, he says, this is an undersized team, so I'm going to grab you 16 rebounds. That's what I'm going to do tonight. Mm-hmm. Like that is not a club we had in the bag before. Mm-hmm. And he knows how to find a matchup he likes. He knows how to find his spot on the floor. Just a really, really good addition to this team and makes us really dangerous. The guy's a Swiss Army knife. He's real good.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, Colson, you touched on it. The thing that he brings is a defensive intensity that this team just absolutely lacked. Well, maybe didn't lack, but he brings the intensity and a capability.
Yeah,
as
and
right?
an expectation from his teammates.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly, right? And I mean, I think that, we've seen over these last 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever it is, the Pacers have been in basically, every game, if not won it. And a lot of that is in spite of the fact that the Pacers have not been shooting that well, save basically that Golden State game. I mean, I kind of got a little bit of 3-point shooting back in the Detroit game, but, shooting at the rate that we've been shooting, if we had been doing that prior to obtaining Siakam, I don't think we win those games. I don't think we go, whatever it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 3 since, starting at the Dallas game back on March 5th or whatever, right?
Right.
And that's hyper crucial because we're in playoff position now. So the Pacers this week clinched postseason. Although I guess you don't really call the play-in post. Is that postseason? It's not playoffs, but it's postseason. So we clinched that, and we've got a game lead over the Sixers, and a game and a half over the Heat. I think right now. So yeah, every
in
win
the
is
6th seed,
crucial.
right?
In the 6th spot right now.
Outside the
Yeah.
play-in right
Right, which is key. Also, Livery and Johnson, I think, said in this Golden State game, and I don't know if this is true, but since the All-Star game, we are 8th in defensive rating. I don't know. That doesn't seem right, but I'll accept that.
Yeah, I don't know what numbers he's looking at. I didn't verify that, but I didn't trust.
But
it
I will
either,
repeat it blindly.
Feels truth E.
Truth E. And Daenerys said that if the season were in today, we would still be the 8th highest scoring team in the history of the NBA. For most of the season, we were going to be the first or the highest or the second highest. So we've dropped a little bit as the season has gone on, but still very impressive. If you can combine solid defense with great offense, you're going to win a lot of games. And, you know, I was looking at the schedule earlier today, and, you know, outside of that, 9-1 run we had there at the end of December, and the tournament and all that, we've basically just been a win 2, lose 2, win 3, lose 1, lose 3, win 1 sort of. We've basically been a 500 team. Mm-hmm. And, but with that Golden State game, we're 9 games over 500, which is the first time all season. We also won 5 road games in a row, which is the first time in a decade or something like that. So the team is starting to round into shape with Siakam and ideally Halliburton getting healthy. Yeah.
So can I put my party pooper hat on?
Oh no! Don't do it. I'm having a good time.
From the perspective of the Pacers are 6th. If the playoffs started today, they'd face the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I thought that Cavs loss was kind of a brutal loss. I thought in a way it was one of our bad losses of the season. I mean, Cleveland's a really good team, and they've been scrapping and they've been beating people, even though they've been missing guys. But like, we were handling them. Yeah. For the first quarter and a half, and we were at home, and then we just let that slip away.
Well, one of the games that we actually started the first quarter well, which we've not done all season,
and the energy was good, the defensive pressure was good. Like it was these guys aren't putting their guard down, even though Mitchell isn't in the lineup and Mobley isn't in the lineup, and Strus isn't in the lineup. But credit to Cleveland. I mean, they scrap their butts off. They work hard, and they made life hard for the Pacers, and Pacers got a little sloppy, and stupid Karis LeVert somehow had 11 assists? I don't think I've ever seen him have 11 assists in a week.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's crazy.
And we do a pretty good job on Garland. We hold him a 5 of 18 from the field. He was just straight up cold from 3-point. Goes 1 of 9, but you figure, no Smitch, right? Like no Mobley. You keep Garland in check. You got a dub to put in your pocket, and just couldn't seal the deal.
Yeah, there was some turnovers late, and Halliburton missing some fairly decent looks from the range.
Also 1 of 9 from 3.
Yeah, that could have changed that game. He also gets fouled, very obviously fouled. I think we're down 3 with under a minute left. They didn't call it. I don't think it makes a difference. I think we're going to lose that game anyway. But that was a rough no call.
Yeah, you don't want to be in that position against
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially
I guess that was my
when you're running
concern.
the game the whole time.
Exactly. Yeah,
they took it late. Yeah.
And again, that's I guess the sign of a young team. We've talked all season about how this team is learning to be a professional NBA basketball team. And, that's the type of game that we hope next season you just step on the other team's throat, when you're up 15 or whatever in the first quarter. And you're just give them no life, and don't let them come back. Yeah. I don't. What was the mood in the building, Joey, where people...
It was good. I mean, people were pretty hyped. It was definitely good energy there. I was... and shout out to my mom who went with me, and friends Andy and Coy that went with us. For those, my mom has been to plenty of games recently, but the other two, they hadn't been to games in many years, and they had a really good time. And they liked the energy in the building, and they were saying, they had a fun time. They enjoyed it, and so, the team is part of that. Where there's, they make the game fun, even if you lose. Like it was a good competitive game, and they looked pretty good, for much of it, and I mean it was fun. I will say there's compared to some of the other teams. I mean, it's a Cleveland. In the scheme of things, is relatively close. There were a fair amount of Cleveland jerseys, more than I expected in the building. So there was a couple. You could hear. They had a couple big dunks. You would hear every once in a while. You'd hear some noise from them, but not as bad as the Chicago or Boston.
Mm-hmm.
But
everybody loves a dunk, though, Joey. I mean, I'll cheer for a dunk, even from the other team.
Get out of here, man! Like dunking on our heads, and you're the one going, "Yeah, boy." No, get out of here.
All right, I'll show myself out.
Just do it quietly, Colton.
That's right.
And then there was Detroit. I mean, look, Kate Cunningham's super good, right? That was a fun game to watch us spank them.
Yeah, and I mean, you said, Joey, it was over early, but actually it was, Detroit
they stuck around,
was hanging with us for the first half, I think. Yeah, and then as they have shown a trend lately, the Pacers came out of halftime and really put it on them in the third quarter, and I thought, took it up a notch and said, all right, let's stop effing around with these guys. And all of a sudden there were guys in the game that I had to Google and be like, who is this guy?
Yeah. Yeah, but, Jalen Duren also gets a shout out. 11 and 12 in that game. He's a large human.
Yes, he is super athletic.
Yep.
Okay, it's very impressive. Was this the game that Carlisle passed Dick Mata?
I think this ties.
Okay, that ties Dick Mata. Okay.
Yeah, the Golden State game, he passes Dick Mata.
Okay, gotcha.
For 13th all time.
13th all time NBA. And
just for number of
wins.
victories.
Yep.
For wins.
Total wins. Yep. And now just 2 behind Red Auerbach, sitting on 938. So that's some real royalty that Rick Carlisle is about to join. So that's very cool.
Yeah, let's make sure that happens by the end of the season. Just make sure we can win 2 more games this year.
Yeah. I would say the highlight of that Detroit game for me was at the end of the game. Locker room favorite James Johnson gets into the game, plays a few minutes, doesn't has basically a bagel in the stat sheet, but the Pacers are dribbling out the clock at the end, and I guess when you have a 24-second violation, the player that has the ball last gets credited with the turnover.
Yeah.
And so Quinn was very intrigued as to who he was going to stick, who was going to get the turnover as they dribbled out the clock. And so James Johnson holds it until 1 second left, and then passes it to the rookie Jarris Walker. And everybody on the team is cracking up. And, it was pretty awesome.
That's amazing. Rookie, got to take this.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
That's great.
I saw there was some after the Detroit game. There was, from the locker room, there was some video, and that was Isaiah Jackson's from Michigan. So
hell of a game by him.
And he had a great game.
He was a monster.
That was a very good. But I mean, James Johnson was basically talking he was speaking to the team like a coach. So. I thought that was very cool. It was basically James Johnson and Carlisle were addressing the team. So, I mean, I think
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's that's how they see this guy. Is, somebody who's not gonna turn the ball over, obviously.
Although I will say CBS credited him with that turnover. So.
Oh no!
I don't know if he got out of it.
He's gonna have to file
another cool thing about this coaching staff is that Jalen Smith was available to play in that Detroit game, but gave the minutes to Isaiah Jackson because he's a Detroit native. So
that's cool.
Yeah, they just sat Smith and was like, "Hey, Jackson, this is your night."
Also, Isaiah Jackson played better than Jalen was going to play. He goes 10, 11, and 6 on 4 of 7 shooting. I mean.
And 3 steals.
Yeah, maybe he played fantastic. That's the best game of his career, right?
But the coaching staff made that call going into the night, which is pretty cool.
And he rewarded
Yeah, which
them.
I think Quinn mentioned that on the broadcast. Not as explicitly, but yeah,
And
it was
he rewarded
totally
them.
cool.
Yeah, exactly. And they gave him the minutes, and he showed up. My goodness.
So Pacers continue the road trip. Actually, they play tonight as we're recording in about 15 minutes. They'll tip off against the Los Angeles Lakers. Then tomorrow, Monday, they will play the Los Angeles Clippers. Also in Crypto.com arena. And then start to make their way back east or back to the Midwest, playing at Chicago on Wednesday. Boo. I'll boo them. And then playing the Lakers again, this time in Gainwood Fieldhouse on Friday, March 29th.
You know
that
what?
game's on NBA TV for the...
And I'll be there to boo in person.
Awesome.
Nice.
Nice.
For you. So, do we feel like we owe them one because they beat us in the tournament cup, and they probably don't care and forgot about it, but we're just pissed about it? We're just going to come out and house them?
I hope so.
Heck yeah.
Okay. I like that.
Can we get them twice
So
in
we're
the
going-
same week, though?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
So we got 4 games that will be played between now and the next time we pod. What do you guys think?
Got to get 3-1. Come on, 3-1.
Tough to beat.
So much LA.
So much LA.
So much LA. I will say the Clippers, we're playing a back-to-back against the Clippers tomorrow, but they will also be playing a back-to-back. So, and they're flying in from someplace else.
Yeah, and probably everyone's resting, I assume.
I hope so.
I'd say the last game against the Clippers, they beat the pants off
Yeah,
us,
they
so.
did.
Yep.
Yeah, owe them one. We always owe Chicago one.
That was the one. Was it Harden was like
Oh, yeah, he was just
like-
cooking.
he had like 30 points in a row or something?
Yeah,
dumb.
he
I don't
didn't even
remember.
take off his warm-ups, I don't think. He
Did you
just
guys
just
see
like-
the highlight from this week where the Clippers were playing somebody, I forget who, but they were like beating the crap out of him? And it was
I
like the
did.
fourth quarter, and James Harden drives into the lane and then dishes it out to Kawhi Leonard in the corner for a 3, but then Harden goes out and challenges the shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Colson,
It's
you gotta see
hilarious.
this thing. You can't read it any other way.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, he said afterwards, he was like, yeah, I was just trying to, lighten up the mood or whatever, or something like that. I don't know.
But Kawhi missed the shot. So.
That guy is so weird.
Perfect. Oh, dear.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're gonna sweep this. We owe everybody something.
We do. Yeah, we owe the Bulls.
We owe the Bulls for sure. We
Definitely
owe the
owe the
Clippers for
Bulls.
sure. We owe the Lakers for sure.
Double owe the Lakers.
Yeah.
I'm still pissed
I-
about that finals thing.
Right? Right? From 2000? We still, yeah.
Yeah, I'm holding that
F
grudge.
those guys.
Don't you
Yeah,
worry.
that's fair.
I bet it keeps Halliburton up at night.
Yeah, yeah. Being the diehard Pacers fan he was at 0 years old.
At negative 3 years old. Yeah, negative 1.
Myles Turner was probably like 8. Maybe he's mad.
I don't think it was 8.
was
He's
not
probably
8.
3. But
3? Okay.
yeah.
I'm giving him a few years. He's
Yeah.
the veteran on the team. He
Yeah, but
just
he's only
passed the-
27 or something.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
He just passed the all-time...
Old man Turner.
I mean, this is incredible. I know you mentioned it at the top, Jason, but like, I mean, this is really beautiful. They did the whole retrospective, and they showed a bunch of his blocks from when he was a rookie, and then moving on, and some of his most impactful blocks. And he's a part of history now. And they interviewed him after the game, and he said, when I came in the NBA, I didn't know that I was going to be somebody who's going to be in the history books, and I'm just really excited to be a part of that. And he's going to continue to rack up those blocks and make it harder to reach that. And really, it's wonderful to have a homegrown, member of this team because, we have several of them, but they're all young. He's been here for 9 seasons.
Yeah. And it's
and
awesome that he is.
Almost as long as we've been doing this pod.
Yeah.
Do you
Came
think
on
he
that
has
long,
also the record for smothered chickens from Quinn Buckner?
Oh,
Somebody would
I
have
don't
to
know.
track that. That's a lot
Hibbert
of work.
had a lot of smothered chickens.
He did. Yeah.
I feel like Hibbert probably.
And I feel like Quinn was a little bit more liberal with handing them out. He's really tightened the
he really has. He really
the
has.
reins on on dealing out smothered chickens.
Yeah. Hibbert was more kind of a like push it down smothered chicken type, you know? I think Myles
I
is
see.
more of like an athletic, catch you from behind sort of guy.
Right on.
I agree. All right, team. We'll be back with you later this week. Until then, you can find us on social media. Until then, social media. We are on Twitter at Undebeatables. We're on Facebook.com/The Undebeatables. Our website is theundebeatables.com. There's a contact form. You can use that to send us a message. An email. Shout out at theundebeatables.com, and at the website /store is where you get the Smedium shirts. Colson, before you sing us out here, you're going to be in town. Do you wanna head downtown for a home game? And is there a home game while you're here?
There is one. We'll have to talk it out. I gotta have some meals with the family and stuff.
Okay. Well, I got a garage full of koozies that need handed out. So
If you want me to just come downtown and hand out koozies, I can do that for sure.
that works too.
Okay.
All right.
I'm also. I think we're going 2-2.
Oh yeah, I didn't make
Nobody
my pick.
asked me.
I didn't make my pick either. Yeah, I think we're gonna sweep. I think we go 4-0. I think his team is rounding in form.
It is rounding into form. My theory was 2-2 this week, and then we just sweep out the rest of the season. I think.
Oh,
okay.
just the whole season, huh? I'll hold that to you next week and the week
Well,
after.
all right, maybe not total prediction, but I'm feeling really good. We're rounding into form here.
Boy, it has been a long way since we had to talk you off a ledge 2 weeks ago.
That's true. That's true. I'm thinking I predicted beginning of the season 46 wins. I'm thinking 47, 48. I still don't think it gets us to the home court advantage, though. I think the Knicks and the Magic have an easier end of the season
47, 40. This guy's so optimistic.
I know,
we have 11
right?
games left. Do you realize?
I do realize this.
Go-
Can we
going
go
8-3?
7-4?
8-3 down the stretch.
Can we go 7-4? Yeah.
We could potentially go 7-4.
I think we
Hey,
could.
if we sweep this week, we're well on our way.
Yeah.
Gotta be feeling good. Come on, team. Go Pacers.
Go
Pacers.
Pacers.
For the architect, Donnie Walsh, and our once and always Hall of Fame coach, Bobby Clenard. Turn out the lights. The party's over.
You all right, bud?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. That's good. It was very soulful.
I don't know if soulful is sort of record scratching,
I was just trying to say it to be nice.
uncomfortable,
Yeah.
nails on a chalkboard. No, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about this team right now. I'm so excited. If Halliburton starts knocking down those long threes, we're done. I mean, he makes the game. He makes everybody's else game so easy.
Dope.
When he did that in Golden State, it was just like Golden State had no answer for anything, and then Siakam could just do whatever he wanted. And I mean, that's why we won so many games in the beginning of the season, because he was just shooting out of his mind. The fact that we've won this many games with him shooting 20% from the three-point range is amazing. You get him back closer to 37%, 40%, like we can do real damage in the playoffs.
Well, that's what I wanted to. I want to see, Halliburton and Siakam, in their full glory.
Let's do it. Let's do this down the stretch, buddy.
Okay, I'll do it.
It's full glory time.
All right, I'll do it. I'm in.
Doesn't sound dirty when you say it.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like we just got the explicit tag.
All right.
Yeah. Dang it.
Sorry, guys. It inevitably happens after I sing the song.
Yeah.
That's a good point.